see me walking down the street, I got nothing but love for you. Even if you're trying to diss me, I got nothing but love for you. It don't matter if I'm riding high.
What did you
Best way to wake up for me is to start looking at emails on my phone in bed, because that kind of gets me annoyed or happy, or it kind of triggers something. So it's a good way to start your day by just reading something. You get a little bit waking up by that. Well, I didn't come from going to a club and getting hooked that way, because I came into music more from the computer side of things. So I was just a kid, basically, like any other, just playing computer games. And my friend showed me this, software where you could make really primitive, limited music on the computer with. And then, that made me hooked, because it was like, what? You can do all this music? I was like, what? It was very limited, but it was still like, what? To be able to create music back then was, for a 12-year-old kid, just like so far-fetched, There was before the days that we have now, where everybody can make music on their phone, It was like much harder to make it. So that was for me the moment when I got hooked. Probably Daft Punk, Armand van Helden, and a lot of the French wave back in '96. Bob Sinclair, when he released the album Champs-Élysées, which was fantastic disco house album. That was that era of the disco house that I think that the French in particular. I don't know. I think I would have been having a boring computer job, like at some office. I think that's what I would have done, because it was with computers that I got into music. So I'm still a computer nerd, but I just happen to make music.
Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Yeah.
Decompress is for me going out in the nature in Sweden, Stockholm, just going out to the water and just being out in the forest a little bit, just connecting with the nature. It's just that's the best for me. That really helps.
People, can you hear me? There's a message that I'm sending out. I've got the answer to all your problems, and tonight I'll be singing it loud. Just surrender yourself to
one that is a really solid one is Government in Toronto, and I think it's amazing because it's been there for think somebody said 20 years. It's been an insane vibe since I came there the first time, which was way before all this EDM craze started. So, you know, that one has to be the most solid one. But then there's amazing ones all over the world, obviously. It's got to be a club. So it's got to be a real club with music in mind. You know, there are clubs that are not clubs, I would say. You know, so it's got to be feeling like, yeah, this is gonna be dirty, big sound system. Good layout, big DJ booth. Well, where have I not played? I have not played in Peru, Chile or Argentina or anywhere like that. So only Brazil. So I'm looking forward to those places, actually. Kind of, you know, creeps up on you because it doesn't happen overnight, or it didn't to me. It's been like a long journey, so, you know, there's been like small steps every way. So, you know, from the first record release, and, you know, grasping the fact that people actually bought your music is like, it's pretty amazing. And when you sit in your, you know, room and you make music, and you know, you make it for yourself, and then for other people to like it, that's the biggest step. That is the biggest step by far.
One look was all it took. With a glance I was drawn into your fire. 'Cause your sexy ways are driving me insane, and nothing's gonna cool my desire.
Then for a big amount of people to like it and to come and see you at shows and go crazy to your music, it's just like monumental, really, that you can affect people like that. So no, that's great. I love that. But you get used to it, so sometimes you really have to remind yourself that you're super lucky.
In my mind, in my head, this is where we all came from. The dreams we had, the love we shared.
What I've learned is that it's hard to keep the balance, but it's really important to, you know, not just go and DJ all the time and not just be in the studio all the time. It's a delicate balance to, you know, get inspired from DJing, but also be able to go back in the studio and make enough music so that relevant DJing. And it's just, that's what I'm constantly learning, really. I'm like, what is this? So you're constantly learning, but that's one of the things that comes to mind. I actually think that, you know, this sounds weird, but it's the truth. Greyhound that we did, I'm like, sometimes I have to listen back to it. It's like, what? You know, that's so fat. I really love that. That's for me the coolest track in a while. You know, it's just like it contains so many different things, yet they all work together, and it's like, wow. I remember when we finished it, it was like, what? Just the other week at the Electric Zoo in New York was for me one of the best experiences that I've had in a while. When playing at a festival like that, you know, there's a huge lineup. You're always concerned about have they played all the tracks that I want to play already, and so. But I was lucky because, you know, my set was kind of different to what the other DJs was playing, and it really, you know, worked with the crowd. They got into it, so it was a big crowd. So that was really amazing. I will be a kick drum, please. Can I be a kick drum?